Park. It's 9718 Orange Road. You can also get a hold of us at 780-416-4435 or on our website, www.meikasbirdhouse.com.
Hi, I'm Janine and this is Ian and we're the owners of Meikas Birdhouse.
It's the Meikas Safehouse Show in Ian's Corner with your host, Ian Sprague, and this week, Kelly Harlow.
Hey, we're good to go.
Good to go.
So let's talk about volcanoes.
Before we do though,
Yeah.
can we just get a background on you? Because not everyone will know your story.
Okay, well, I'm Ian from Meikas Birdhouse.
Right.
I have spent the last, my whole life working with animals in one form or another. But the last 15 years, maybe a little bit better, working primarily with birds.
What was it that?
My wife. That's what kind of started.
Okay.
She's very passionate about with her parrots and that, and you know, I was kind of reluctant at first when we got into this, and but starting to interact with them, starting to see how their brains work and all that kind of, and just being blown away by the intelligence, really, I got hooked, you know, and then, you know, we really didn't know what we were getting ourselves into in a lot of ways.
Sometimes that's best, isn't it?
Well, yes and no. You know, if I knew now, I would have gone a different route probably when it comes to having birds in my home. But the experiences that we've gotten through these guys are just incredible, right? So from that, we've gotten to do a lot of things with parrot conservation.
Right.
So we've been all over the Caribbean. We travel around. We have friends all over the world that are passionate about parrots, right? And so we've gotten a lot of kind of insight from different angles, from parrot ownership, from people that have birds in their home. We don't really consider them pets. We more consider them companions because they're not a domesticated animal. So we look at it from a different point of view, and then right into parrot conservation. You know, why is that? You know, how you know what's the effect of having that bird in our house? Is that an animal that has been you know, decimated in the wild for the pet trade? Is that an animal that is doing fine even though they're in the pet trade? So there's lots of different levels of conservation and threat to the birds, and some of them are doing fine with it, and some of them really aren't, right? And the bird I want to talk about today is the St. Vincent Amazon. It's not really in the pet trade because it is only found on one island in the whole entire world. It looks different than all the other Amazons that are out there.
Yeah, you were describing the differences.
Yeah,
So for people who don't know.
For people who don't know, they're very much like most of the Amazons are, you know, big green parrot. You know, that's the kind of what the stereotypical
Like what
parrot.
we would see in a cartoon.
Yeah, stereotypical parrot. Yeah, for sure. The St. Vincent's look a lot different. They have, you know, they have like some bronzy colors to them. They're big.
I heard a copper.
Yeah, kind of a sheen to them. Yeah, and they look quite different. So if you saw one, if you were a parrot person, you'd say, well, I might not know what species of Amazon it is, but I know it's not. You know, so something would trigger with you.
Right.
So they're not something that you'll see in people's houses, or you won't see them generally, even in zoos. You may, in certain zoos that specialize in conservation projects, you might see them, like, you know, but more than likely, if you were to see them ever, you would see them in private collections, and chances are it wouldn't be legal. You know, it wouldn't be something that you would see in a straightforward way.
And they're already endangered.
They're endangered anyhow, simply because they live on a really small island. there's lots of stuff that goes into it. So some of it's going to be habitat destruction from having people on the island.
Right.
There is going to be a certain amount of problems when it comes to hurricanes and tropical storms. And now what's going on right now is on St. Vincent is their volcano has been erupting and has been erupting since April 9th. Today's the 20th, so it's been going off up until now. Yeah, so we're having lots of course, the stuff that goes along with volcanoes, lava, trees are being destroyed. That's pushing birds away from the volcano. They live primarily in this valley that is kind of pinched up beside the volcano and the agricultural lands. So they're kind of stuck in that.
Like a corridor.
Yeah,
right?
they're kind of stuck in this natural corridor that is safe for them. Like we were talking before, hopefully some of the birds know what to do because the volcano's gone off before. It's a natural thing. Hopefully there's some birds around that say, oh, I remember what we did last time when this happened. We can go to this place and we'll still find food, water, shelter.
Yeah.
Hopefully. We're not going to know until probably next year. You know, who's survived, how many have survived. I know the numbers were around 350 in the 80s. They brought it up till, just last month it was around 750, 800 individuals. And that's the wild population. That's it. That's all there is. And so now with the volcano going off, it's a humanitarian crisis. So people's focus isn't necessarily going to be on the parrots. It's going to be on getting the people safe. There's going to be a whole bunch of cleanup.
Infrastructure will be destroyed. So.
Oh, and their homes are being destroyed. The volcano's still going off. When is it safe to come back? When is it safe to do things? So we're not going to know the ramifications of this for the St. Vincent Amazon for some time. I guess the scariest things that come with these Amazons is the gases and things and the ash that come out of the volcano. The actual, lava flows and stuff like that. That's one
fly
thing.
Above that.
They'll get away from that, right? But the gases and stuff, they can't see it coming.
No.
We talk about the canaries in the coal mine, that whole kind of thing. Their air sacs are so sensitive. Some of the gases that come out of these volcanoes are extremely toxic. The ash, they can't just cough it out. It's thick. It could be, it will be the end of a lot of parrots. We don't know how many. Hopefully not all of them. And whoever survives, hopefully, will be a stronger, better, healthier parrot for reproduction, right?
Yeah.
Because it is a natural event.
Yep.
It's not like when we talk about a lot of
for
conservation
volcano.
stuff was when people come in and they rob them for the pet trade and then they robbed and taken away and many of them die in transport. This is a natural event. It's not ideal by any means, but it's what happened, and so these guys have evolved on that island with that volcano for thousands of years. So hopefully they're equipped to deal with that volcano, right? That's what we're hoping, right?
Right.
That's the big takeaway from it. Okay, is that there's a lot of fingers crossed. I know there's people that are donating to recovery projects and for the St. Vincent Amazon projects. I guess the big thing the takeaway from it is just be careful who you're donating to. Do some research.
Is there a group that you would?
You are watching the Meikas Safehouse channel on TVU. Meikas Safehouse, a bird rehabilitation and rehoming center based in Sherwood Park, Alberta. Meikas Safehouse provides a safe and loving environment for birds in need.
This is the lifetime pellets from Hagen, or HARI, which is the Hagen Agricultural Research Institute. These are probably one of my favorite pellets on the market, just simply because they have one of the best quality control programs that I know of, and we've seen them firsthand. Each batch of this pellet has been tested, all recorded with the batch number and the lot number. If you ever find anything wrong with this pellet, you can get a hold of Hagen, the Hagen Research Institute, and they can tell you everything about this product. It's made in Canada, so it's a Canadian product, and a really, really good top-of-the-line bird food. This one, and all these pellets, I should say, basically have the same nutritional value. This is a pellet out of the States called Rowdy Bush. This is another fairly popular pellet. It is made differently than some of the other products. It's a little bit softer. So some birds that have trouble transferring from a seed diet onto a pelletized diet, Rowdy Bush might be a reasonable way for you to go, just simply because it's easy for them to eat, and it's readily available for them, and I think it has maybe it might taste a little bit better than some of the dry ones. This pellet is the one that people get very big about. This is a really top of the line pellet from Harrison's. Another really good pellet. This one's recommended by veterinarians quite a bit. This pellet is USDA certified organic, and it's one of the best pellets on the market at the time. This is the Zupreme pelletized diet. This Zupreme makes a bunch of different kinds. Some people are concerned about the fruit blend colors just because of the colors in it. They also have a product that is they're called their natural line. It's the same nutrition, it just doesn't have the color in it. But again, a very, very, very solid pelletized diet.
If there was someone watching and they wanted to donate, who would you suggest?
Well, the World Parrot Trust is always one of the top ones, right? Because they will allocate funds specifically for a species, right? Okay. So that one's always safe. Okay. There is St Vincent parrot groups on St Vincent that you can also donate to, conservation groups. But like I said, just do your homework before you do, because there's also a bunch of not so honest people right now that are more than willing to take money in order for, so just do your research and be very aware.
So we're going to think local and act, or think global and act local, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But that leads you to the next
part. That leads me to the next step, right? Which was this situation that a customer of ours, she's a 92-year-old lady, and she keeps canaries.
Sounds like a dangerous criminal.
Yeah, she keeps canaries. And in the summertime and in the springtime, especially, you're going to do the big spring cleaning in your house. Yeah. If you have had birds in your house, there's feathers and dander and stuff. So now's a good time. You open the windows, you take the birds, and you put them in their outside cages. She has outdoor aviaries, and then you can, the birds can enjoy some sunshine and some daylight. Absolutely. And then you can get some stuff done in the house as well. Well, unfortunately, Wendy had done that. She'd taken her birds out, and she noticed a pesticide company, or the car to a pesticide company, outside her house. And when she looked out, sure enough, they're in the backyard of her neighbor's house, and they're spraying for whatever. They're spraying for mosquitoes or whatever they were trying to do. She managed to flag this guy down, and he quickly, seeing that she's an older lady, quickly said, "Oh, let's get your birds inside." And so he helped her do it. But it was too late. A couple birds had perished because of the poisons, right? So this is something that's called, it's poison drift. So this is something that can happen to any of us very easily, and it's not just birds. Think of any of your other pets that are out in your yard. There is no legal reason for any of these companies that are spraying poisons, herbicides, fertilizers, any of that kind of. They don't have to notify you. They've got a contract to do. The neighbor on the corner has said, "I want to do this." They hire the guys to come in. They spray whatever they need to spray. The neighbors are not part of the equation. But what I guess what the issue is that people should be notified before you spray anything like that in your yards.
Yeah.
Because, honestly, some of that stuff is pretty toxic. You notice the people that are spraying it are wearing respirators, right? And if your pets or your animals are out there in the yard, your grandchildren, whoever are out there, they're potentially being poisoned.
I wouldn't want a face full of pesticides going into
No, and there's nothing to stop it.
No.
And Alberta is one of those provinces where they don't, there is no legal
So
ramifications.
should people write letters to?
People should be writing letters to their municipalities for sure, for bylaws, because that's going to be the first in the chain. Hopefully it gets to a thing where it's a provincial thing, where I'm not saying don't spray or anything, or don't do it, but people should be notified, and there should be some time given, saying, hey, I'm going to be spraying whatever. My personal opinion on it is don't spray anything, just let it be. But if you have to spray, you should be at least keeping people notified.
Right.
Right, and so I think that'd be a good thing for the county of Strathcona to take some leadership on. I think they could, it's a big county. It's a county with a lot of people, a lot of people that are just nature, right? Maybe they could be looking at taking a leadership role on this and really saying, you know what, if we're gonna spray, we're gonna notify, and it's gonna be, you can only spray on a Sunday morning, but whatever. But they can figure that out. That's up for them. So that's my next thing, and that also leads me into my rant for the county of Strathcona.
I'm just gonna buckle up here.
Yeah, this is where I kind of lose my mind a little bit.
Keep it calm, deep breaths.
Yeah, yeah. No F sharps or anything like that. Yeah. So we're in a pandemic, right? There's been a lot of talk on TV and on the radio about people's mental well-being, how people are dealing with this whole thing of being shut in, having, little resources, little things to do.
Yeah.
There is another one of my customers, a lady who has taken it upon herself. I think she's been doing this for years, to tell you the truth. I think COVID she does it more now because can't do anything else. Yeah. So what she does is she has a teacup and a bag of birdseed. She drives around to places that she knows she sees birds, and she drives up, she takes her teacup of birdseed, and she pours a little bit on the ground, and then she moves on. She doesn't cause any trouble, she doesn't bother anybody. She takes a teacup of birdseed and pours it on the ground, and the birds eat it, right? I don't understand what's going on, but the county has taken against to make this an issue. They have threatened her to charge her under a bylaw of some sort.
Would that be littering or?
I don't know, and I don't care. Honestly, I think it's just them being a bully. I think they've come across whoever's made the phone call has decided that I'm going to try an intimidation tactic before we get into actually being intelligent about it. And she was asking me about it, and I said, have them call me. I'm more than happy to have a conversation with anybody about a teacup of birdseed here and there. I would understand a complaint if it was a big bag of birdseed and she dumped it in the middle of, a park or something like that. That's different. I would understand completely. I would say, that's...
Or right beside a loading dock
or
or grocery store.
Yeah, anything like that. I can get that. But to take a teacup of seed and put it here and there and all over the place, it's hardly a big deal. It gives this lady a little bit of joy. She gets to see the birds and all that other stuff, and they come, and she feels that the birds are going to fare well through the cold months and all these kind of things, right? It makes her feel good, right? And I just don't understand. I thought for a moment, well, maybe the county is concerned about pigeons. Because I know she was dumping some seed by the Lord's Transit Center, and there's pigeons there. And I thought, well, maybe it's got something to do with pigeons. And then I thought to myself, well, the pigeons aren't really attracted to the seed, so it can't be that. So what would attract pigeons to the transit centers or to the buildings? It's the buildings themselves. Those are great nesting habitat for all kinds of animals, right? There's big open spaces, they got open girders, it's safe from predators, it's all this other kind of stuff. It's not a teacup of seed that's causing an issue. So, like I said, I told her, let them write the ticket, and then bring the ticket to me, and then we'll have fun with it. But it's
Get a few people to go and fight it.
oh, absolutely, we'll all go.
Absolutely.
We'll all go down to the courthouse.
Take a few birds with us.
Yeah, we'll all go down to the courthouse and understand and get some publicity for this sort of thing.
Absolutely.
But yeah, no, that's my big rant. That kind of stuff drives me crazy. I don't understand why anybody would be concerned about that kind of thing. So that's my rant. I'm hoping that it stops. If anybody wants to get a hold of me regarding any of these things, poison drift, the volcano, the St Vincent Amazons, or the county of Strathcona having issues with bird feeding, by all means, give me a call, Meikas Birdhouse.
What about questions about pet care,
Bird care, my phone is always open for that, anytime. And if anybody wants to talk to me about anything about animals, period, birds is kind of where we specialize in, but I am willing to do any of it because I'm interested in all of them, and I've done a lot of research on all of them. So, or not all of them, but a fair number of them. So, yeah, my number is always, my phone's always on, 780-416-4435, or you can get a hold of me at Meikas Birdhouse.
Call Ian for all your bird questions.
Yeah, you bet.
Thank you.
All right. Meikas Birdhouse in Sherwood Park. It's 9718 Orange Road. You can also get a hold of us at 780-416-4435 or on our website, www.meikasbirdhouse.com.
Hi, I'm Janine and this is Ian and we're the owners of Meikas Birdhouse.